about one.
Hello everybody, it's Joe from PrepAgent here. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, sorry I was 5 minutes late. Thank you for being patient. Just so you guys know, I saw a lot of you guys helping me out with this, is if I'm running late or something's happened, we'll always write it in the chat so you'll know we're there. So just check the chat, the messages, and you'll see it right there. So if you see we're running a few minutes late, just look at the chat and you'll see what's going on there. We'll let you know if we'll be there, which will be a few minutes, or if there's some problem with connection or something of that nature. So with that being said, we're all here, and today we're doing property ownership. So when we talk about property ownership, that's the first chapter you guys learn in most of your textbooks. And it usually starts with something known as the bundle of rights. Have you guys ever heard of the bundle of rights? Who here has heard of the bundle of rights? What's the bundle of rights all about? So the bundle of rights is usually how your textbook starts and has to do with the right to use, possess, dispose. Mike has this acronym DEEP C. So you can tell us what that stands for. Deborah and Mike, both you guys are using that. But it's basically your rights or interests in the property, what you're allowed and not allowed to do with it. So you can dispose, encumber, sell it, do whatever you want with it. It's yours. And when you commit a violation, you lose one of those rights. Excuse me. The next thing that comes up in your book is real property versus personal property. What's the difference between real property and personal property? What's the difference in real property and personal property? Real property is immovable. Personal property is movable. Give me an example of real property. Give me an example of real property. Land, good. A tree, excellent. Give me an example of personal property. Give me an example of personal property. So example of personal property could be like a key or a couch. Your dog, that's right, Justin, very personal. I love dogs. If you guys follow us at all, you know that I do a lot for dogs and dog charities and dog things and rescue dogs and all that kind of stuff. I'm a big animal rights person. Am I the only one who believes if somebody is mean to a dog that you can't do business with them? I can never trust somebody who is cruel to a dog. They're so expressive. Sorry, anyway, tangent. So we were talking about personal property. Personal property is things that are movable. And you get things like chairs and different things of that nature. Can real property become personal property? Can real property become personal property? Can real property become personal property? Yes. Remember that tree we said that is real property? Well, you push it over and it becomes personal property. This has nothing to do with Maria. That has nothing to do with Maria. Maria has to do when personal property becomes real property, the other way around. Right, guys? Don't get that confused. I say personal real. Everybody's like, Maria, Maria. Okay, so Maria is a test for what? What is Maria a test for? What do you guys think? So Maria is a test for, it rhymes with ixture, but has an F in the front. Fixture, nice job, Pat. Nice job. Maria is a test for a fixture, and that is personal property is now real property. What does Maria stand for? She stands for underground music in the 80s. Woo! Blondie. Okay, so Maria stands for method, adaptability, relationship, intention, and agreement. Method, adaptability, relationship, intention, and agreement. This is important because when you buy a house and people don't agree on what with the property and what didn't, they refer to this rule. Okay, what type of fixture is used for a business office? What kind of fixture is used for a business office? A trade fixture, a trade fixture. Excellent. Give me an example of a trade fixture. Give me an example of a trade fixture. You guys are doing amazing. A dentist chair. Good. Give me another one. Everybody loves that dentist chair example. A salon chair? Sure. If it works for a dentist, why not at a hair salon? Not that I would know. I don't have any hair. Well, I do, just not on my head. Well, that just got awkward. I'll just change topic. There's nowhere good to go with that. So if your screen is blurry, change it to 720 HD. If somebody can write that in the chat, I appreciate it. Julia, if your screen is blurry, change it to 720 HD. Okay, so a dentist chair is a trade fixture. On another note, did you guys see, whether it's an Instagram or YouTube, I put together a question of the week. Did you guys see that? It's my new video series I'm doing. Who saw that? I did a really nice thumbnail, so if you didn't see it, it would hurt my feelings. I spent a lot of time taking pictures of myself, like a teenage girl doing a makeup tutorial. So I hope you saw that thumbnail. Took like 30 shots to get it. So I'm doing a question of the week, okay? And what that is I'm going to look over the Facebook group, okay? The Facebook group at the end of every week. The Facebook group, the Real Estate Exam Study group on Facebook. I will pick some questions from that group that seem to be getting a lot of traction or I think will really help a lot of people if I answer. I'll put those together and I'll start the week off by reading those questions out loud and answering them so everybody could learn from it. And obviously I'll pick questions that I think are the best to share and I'll use my judgment on that. But that's what I'm doing. So I'm basically scanning the Facebook group. Amar says, how do we get the webinar text message? Good question. Write to us through the website and Arthur will get back to you on that. Okay, so moving right along. Congratulations, Julia. Making it screen clear. Let's do a question from the board. Under the terms of a net lease, a commercial tenant usually would be responsible for paying A, mortgage interest expenses, B, income tax payments, C, real estate taxes, or D, principal debt services. Amber passed the exam. Congratulations, Amber. Amber. Okay, moving right along. The answer here is real estate taxes. Remember, the net lease stands for tax, insurance, and maintenance. Okay, moving right along. In a joint tenancy, all the following are true except A. Did it just start echoing out of nowhere, or has it always been echoing? Okay, joint tenancy, all the following are true except A. Each partner has divided share of the property. B. Unities of possession, interest, time, and title must be present. C. Joint tenants have a right of survivorship upon the death of the tenant. Or D. A couple who is not married may hold title as joint tenants. Is it still echoing now? Is my Yeti mic failing me? Okay, the answer on the board is A. Each partner has a divided share of the property. Okay, I'm going to try something for you guys. Tell me if it's echoing after I do this. 1, 2, 3. What about now? Is it echoing now? I just unplugged my Yeti mic. Better? Alright, I can't believe it. I'm so disappointed in the Yeti mic. Spent $125 on that thing. Okay, so now we're talking about joint tenancy. Alright, so there's two ways you could own property. Who knows what they are? There are two ways you could own property. What are the two ways you could basically own property? You could own it with somebody else or by yourself. It's that simple, guys. Don't make it more complicated than that. You can own it by yourself or with somebody else. Technically, that would be called concurrent and severalty. There's not many ways you can own severalty because you own it by yourself. How many ways can you do something by yourself or own something by yourself? So concurrent is with somebody else. There's two big concurrent estates we like to talk about. There's more than two in general, but there's two that we like to talk about. Who knows what those two are? Anybody? Joint tenancy and tenancy in common. What is the difference between joint tenancy and tenancy in common? You guys are amazing. Joint tenancy has the four unities of time, title, interest, and possession. Tenancy in common just has that unity of possession. Okay, so remember that. Joint tenancies, time, title, interest, and possession. Tenancy in common is just possession. Jordan says, can you explain lease terms? Ooh, I don't know. That's a very vague question. I would need more specifics. Okay, so joint tenancies, time, title, and possession. Tenancy in common is possession. Demaris says, what is an easy way to remember joint tenancy and tenancy in common? To tip for joint tenancy and P for tenancy in common. Time, titles, interest, and possession for joint tenancy. P is for possession and tenancy in common. Sorry, it's not always like super fun acronyms. Which one of those has the right of survivorship? Joint tenancy or tenancy in common? Which one of those has the right of survivorship? Joint tenancy. Nice job, Romulo Romano. Coolest name in the world. Okay, joint tenancy has that right of survivorship. Okay, tenancy in common does not. Therefore, what would you take if you were buying a property with a corporation? Tenancy in common or joint tenancy? What would it be? Joint tenancy or tenancy in common? If you take it with a corporation. Oh, you guys are breaking my heart. It would be a tenant in common. Because there's that right of survivorship and corporations don't die, they dissolve. Has everybody got that? So it's a tenancy in common. Don't go breaking my heart. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Nobody knows it. Okay, here we go. What document should a buyer's agent confirm was issued when representing a purchase of a home in a new subdivision? Congratulations, Alexander Kim, on passing. What state you pass in, Alexander? Let the world know. We want to send you some deals. Okay, what document should a buyer's agent confirm was issued when representing a purchase of a home in a new subdivision? A, certificate of compliance. B, building permit. C, certificate of occupancy. Or D, code certificate. The answer is C, certificate of occupancy. Certificate of occupancy. Okay, moving right along. By the way, tomorrow's webinar is Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 o'clock East Coast time. Don't miss it. I'm going to say something amazing, I'm sure. All right, here we go. A situation in which the tenant's lease has expired and the tenant is no longer paying rent, but is living on the property is known as A, estate at sufferance, B, an estate for years, C, estate from period to period, or D, estate at will. And the answer is A, estate at sufferance. So we're talking about less than freehold estates. What are the 4 types of less than freehold estates that you need to know in order to pass your real estate exam? What are the 4 types of less than freehold estates that you need to know in order to pass your real estate exam? Estate for years is 1. Nice job, Lynn. First on the board. Estate for years is 1. Periodic tenancy is another. Nice job, Justin Salcido. So we got estate for years, periodic tenancy, estate at will, and estate at sufferance. So you got estate for years, estate at will, periodic tenancy, and estate at sufferance. Those are the 4. Estate for years is what? What is an estate for years? What is an estate for years? What is an estate for years? So estate for years for a defined period of time. Estate at will means it can end at any time. Periodic tenancies like that month to month or week to week. And estate of sufferance, which is the one on the board, is when somebody stays past when they're supposed to, also known as a deadbeat tenant. Boo, deadbeat tenants. Are you guys excited to sell real estate? Are you guys excited to get that first commission check? I hope so. Excuse me. An encumbrance that affects the title, usually related to money, is known as A, an easement in gross, B, a lien, C, an easement by prescription, D, an easement by necessity. What do you guys think? And the answer is B. We remember lean money, lean money, lean money, money, lean money, lean money, lean money. There are liens go into two categories. What are those two categories? What are those two categories? So I was getting specific and general. Although, Ryan, you're not wrong. Voluntary and involuntary would work as well. However, the only example of a voluntary lien that I can think of as it pertains to real estate is when you get a loan. Like when you get a loan on your house, or if you got a loan on a car or something like that. Like basically loans. Most are involuntary. What is the difference between a specific lien and a general lien? Who knows that? What is the difference between a specific lien and a general lien? So specific lien is when they go after one specific thing if you don't pay. A general lien, they go after everything. An example of a specific lien would be that mortgage loan or a property tax. An example of a general lien would be like your income tax or in a judgment if you lose a court case. They can go after everything. What would a mechanics lien be? A specific lien or a general lien? What do you guys think? What would a mechanics lien be? A specific lien or a general lien? Specific lien would be a mechanics lien. Nice job. Mechanics lien would be a specific lien. I feel a little more peppy today. Do I sound a little more peppy? I hope I do. I feel a little more peppy today. Change my diet. Try not to eat meat or dairy. Basically going vegan. Trying to clear the system. But don't post that you're going vegan. So if you do, everybody eats meat, gets really angry at you. You say, I'm going to eat healthy. And they're like, what the hell? Don't tell me what to eat. So don't post that. It's funny, if you post you're eating healthy food, people comment. But if you post that you're working out, everybody's like, yeah, you're the best. If you post your exercise, if you post that like, oh, I'm eating healthy food, they're like, screw you. Do you guys notice that? When you post you're eating healthy food, everybody calls you pretentious, gets angry at you. But if you post like selfies exercising, everybody's like, amazing, you're the best. Is it just me? That's true, right? That's totally true. Okay, here we go. For land to be taken by the government under its right of eminent domain, which of the following must apply? A, there must be constructive notice. B, the state takes the property through adverse possession. C, there must be a statutory dedication. Or D, the taking must be for a public purpose. Julie Long says, do what's best for you. Thanks, Julie. I'm also trying swimming, too. Okay, so eminent domain is for a public purpose. So we're talking about the government powers here. What are the 4 government powers? Who knows? What are the 4 government powers? One Take Family says, can I get a private webinar? I feel like this is pretty private right now. Aren't you in your house by yourself? I'm in my house by myself. Okay, so the government powers for police power, eminent domain, taxation, and its chief. The acronym is PEEP. police power, eminent domain, taxation, and escheat. What is the difference between police power and eminent domain? Who could tell me? What is the difference between police power and eminent domain? What is the difference between police power and eminent domain? Police power, they tell you how to use your property. Eminent domain, they take it away from you. Therefore, which one is going to allocate money? Police power, eminent domain. Which one will give you compensation? The one where they take it away from you or the one where they tell you how to use it? And Julie Long says R3. I'll make that relevant for you. We'll make sure that little post has some meaning. You just wait. Okay, so eminent domain, they'll pay for your properties. They're taking it away from you. All right? Police power, they're telling you how to use it. What are some ways they tell you how to use your property? What are some ways that police power tells you how you can use your property? Excuse me. Zoning is one, good, and building codes is another. Great. Give me an example of a building code. Give me an example of a building code. Example of a building code is how the height level of building, fire exits, handrails on a door. Okay, give me an example of zoning. Give me an example of zoning. And now you guys can write R3. You guys are really eager to write R3. I have a feeling that was in some of your textbooks. And you're like, I don't know, I just got to write R3. Whenever I hear that word, I need to just circle R3. It feels important to me. So in case you're wondering, R3 stands for multifamily residential. Okay, so commercial, residential, things of that nature. Good job, everybody. If 5 people own a property as a joint tenant, well, that's a party. A, there is still only one title to the whole property. B, and one of the owner dies, his heirs become tenants in common for the surviving co-owners. C, they need not own equal interest in the property. Or D, each owner has a separate legal title to his undivided interest. What do you guys think? And the answer is A, there is still only one title. Remember the unity, time, title, and possession? Where's that first one? Time. Time. If a lien covers all properties of the debtor in the county where it is recorded, it is known as A, lease pendants, B, judgment lien, C, specific lien, or D, general lien. Excuse me, guys. I apologize for coughing. Let me clear my throat. Okay, and the answer is D. The key is all properties. Remember, the general lien, they come after everything. Thank you, Sarah. I feel blessed. General lien, they come after everything. Ellen Stevens loves that song. That means you are a child of the 80s, just like me. Okay, property owner conveys the ownership of his house to his mother and stipulates that on her death, ownership will revert to him. The interest the owner has in the property is A, qualified fee estate, B, remainder interest, C, homestead estate, D, reversionary interest. And the answer is D, reversionary interest. That means it reverts back to somebody. Which of the following best describes a fee simple absolute estate? A, it is the maximum estate in the land and lasts forever. B, it is a maximum estate in land, only lasts for the duration of the property ownership. C, the duration is dependent upon the language of the deed. D, it will have the maximum rights unless a deed conditions limits. And the answer is A, is the maximum, but it's not absolute, because remember, we just went over those government powers. Remember that, Pete? Police power, eminent domain, taxation, and cheat. That always limits somebody's ownership, right, guys? So you're always limited by those government powers. Okay, here we go. Joanne, don't worry about it. It's hard to understand. Remember, you can watch this again. Don't forget, guys, this is recorded. You could go back to your control panel and watch it again. And it's going to get easier, I promise. And do not forget your 5 vocab words a day. Thank you, Justin, for reminding me. Every morning, you got to do it. Okay, an owner conveys a life estate to her grandson, stipulates their death, the estate will pass to her son-in-law. The son-in-law has an A, remainder interest, B, reversionary interest, C, legal life estate, or D, estate for years. And the answer is A, remainder interest. Let's do one more. Which of the following would be considered a property improvement? A, an increase in the value of property. B, an alteration to the land to make it more useful. C, a chicken coop permanently attached to the land. Or D, a parcel of land that has passed a percolation test. Okay, the answer is C, a chicken coop permanently attached to the land improves the property. Well, that's ironic. Chicken, as I talked about being vegan. I gotta admit, guys, last week, so basically we're done now, just so you know. Last week I was only a vegan in the morning, like before 12. After 12 I was not, so I was like a morning vegan for breakfast. It's just I was with my in-laws, my suegra, and I don't know if you guys know, but deep in Latin America that could be difficult to get across. So I kept saying to her, soy vegano, mi mamá. And she said, mi amor, no hay problema, tengo pollo para ti, which means I'm vegan. She said, no problem, I'll give you chicken. That's what she said to me. So the whole thing about being vegan in the afternoon was tough. So that's it for me today. One Take Family says, what's the difference between remainder and reversionary? So remainder means they're left behind if the reversionary person's not there. It reverts back to somebody. If that person's not there to receive it, it goes to the remainder. Where's all my Latinos who understand what I'm talking about? If you're from deep in the heart of South America, which is where my in-laws are from, then they know what I'm talking about. So, all right, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. I'm glad you liked it, Sarah. Let's see, how do I turn this off now?